It's Monday, February 24th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Simply callous. That's how Attorney General Dale Marshall has described Saturday night's home invasion, which left Canadian visitor Kenneth Elliott nursing a gunshot injury. The 65-year-old was shot in the left shoulder when three armed men entered the Christchurch residence where he and his family were staying. In condemning the attack, Minister Marshall also described it as worrying.
This house was not in the tourist belt. This house was in a residential community in Christchurch. Now, there are two things about that should worry us. The first one, of course, is that tourism is all bread and butter. And Barbados cannot afford to have any negative references made about how safe or unsafe. In fact, Barbados has always been felt to be a safe place for visitors. And this kind of callous conduct on the part of a few hooligans can threaten the livelihood and the lifeblood of our country. But the second thing is that it's clear that these people are happy to go anywhere to perpetrate a crime. So I want to tell you that while this happened to tourists, it could have happened to you or me. It didn't happen in the tourist belt, it happened in the residential community.
The AG, who was addressing a Barbados Labour Party St. Joseph branch meeting last evening, made yet another public appeal for residents to help in the fight against spiraling crime and violence.
The approach to dealing with a rise in crime in our country is not just one of hiring more police. It's not just one of dealing with it from a policing standpoint. We have to begin by dealing with it as community-minded individuals. When you see it, report it. If you suspect it, report it. Plain and simple, because tomorrow, if you don't report it, that very gun could be pointed at you, your husband, your wife, or your children. If you see it, report it. And there are mechanisms for ensuring the confidentiality of people who come to court, people who report matters to the police. So that's where we have to start, at our community. If you see it, report it. If you suspect it, report it. That way we can nip it in the bud. But then, if an offense happens, you have to give the police your support. Give them your support. And if you see it, come forward and give evidence.
The debate on the 2020-2021 Estimates of Expenditure begins in Parliament today. Government is anticipating a total expenditure of over $3 billion, the bulk of which will go towards debt payments. Expenditure on goods and services is expected to increase, as well as current transfers to state-owned agencies. The debate will take place at Parliament's temporary location at Within's Corporate Centre in Christchurch. There's been an increase in the purchase of life insurance, but a fallback in the number of persons seeking mutual and investment type funds. Word of this from President of the Barbados Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, Kweku Reid. He believes the rise is due to increased confidence in the economy.
There definitely was an increase in 2019 as opposed to 2018. I think this is mainly because of persons are feeling more comfortable in seeing that the economy is moving. That there's a rise in the economy. There are more tourists coming to the island. There's more businesses are actually starting. There's a relax in the government with persons who are entrepreneurs who want to go to sell clothes or fresh vegetables. There's a relax in persons going out in town to sell. So you have some of those individuals who are opening their own small personal business, who are now able to really start by investing and start paying for things like that.
How big policies that they're buying?
I would say that they're we have an average. There are persons who are buying smaller policies.
What's the range then?
The range, I would say, about 100,000 to 750,000. And then obviously you have the persons who are invested in the properties, and obviously the cost of living, cost of homes are increasing. So the cost of the security for mortgages are increasing.
The Speightstown Bypass Road will be renamed after the late Sir Kenmore Husbands. Parliamentary representative for St. Peter, Labour Minister Colin Jordan, made the disclosure during last evening's Pride of Barbados Awards ceremony held at the St. Peter Parish Church, where a number of constituents were recognized for their work to community and country. The renaming of the road will take place on Friday.
Sir Kenmore Husbands, Kenmore Nathaniel Ricestone Husbands, Doc Husbands, he had a lot of names, but an icon for St. Peter, an icon in Speightstown, an icon for Barbados, the first black Speaker of the House of Assembly. The Prime Minister and her cabinet thought it fitting that as St. Peter celebrated its month, and as that month coincided quite nicely with our theme of celebrating heritage, but also as African Awareness Month, that celebrating the contribution of the first black Speaker of the House of Assembly was something that we had to do. And so on Friday afternoon, we plan to unveil a sign that will indicate that the road will be renamed after Sir Kenmore Husbands.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
To news from the region now. Health officials assure residents in Trinidad and Tobago that there are no cases of COVID-19 in the country. They also say there was no need to panic as the necessary protocols are being followed after a female student returned home last Friday from China. More in this TV6 News report.
The Division of Health is looking into a number of threats made online against a Tobago student who arrived on the island on Friday aboard a British Airways flight from Canada. This was confirmed by Health Secretary Dr. Agatha Carrington. The division understands threatening messages have been posted on social media and is kindly asking that persons please cease and desist from doing such. The division has assured the public that there is no need to panic and that there are currently no cases of the coronavirus in Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Carrington told TV6 News the student will be quarantined at her home for the next 14 days with security stationed at the home 24/7 to ensure that persons adhere to the national policy to not leave home. The national of Trinidad and Tobago, who is also a resident of Louisdor, Tobago, arrived at the A&R Robinson International Airport at 5:21 p.m. on Friday. All passengers arriving on that flight were screened and found to be in good health. The Trinidad and Tobago national was isolated from all other passengers, interviewed and examined by port health officials. The individual did not have fever or any other symptoms and is currently in good health. In keeping with the nation's policy that returning nationals from China be quarantined and monitored at home, the student was taken directly home by health officials.
And finally, Italian officials cut short the Venice Carnival on Sunday, 2 days earlier than scheduled, as they try to control what is now the worst outbreak of the coronavirus or COVID-19 in Europe. Italy has by far the highest number of coronavirus cases in Europe with 152. More in this report from France 24.
What they've done is a whole range of precautionary measures, particularly in Lombardy and Veneto. Schools are closed for a week, universities are shut, museums, cinemas and theatres are also going to be closed, or they're going to be limited. School trips throughout Italy have been cancelled, as well as trips out of Italy have been cancelled. And those areas, those 10 or so towns in northern Italy that are on lockdown, people in those areas risk a fine and even arrest if they try to leave or others try to enter those areas. They are being patrolled by the police and by military personnel as well. All these precautionary measures, because of course, as we saw those 2 deaths of people here in Italy, the authorities felt it was necessary to contain the infection, if at all that they can, because of course, at the moment, they still don't know who patient 0 is.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.